Hello everyone. So let's go over how to actually code up this question on how to determine if a string passed in is a palindrome or not. So we had our pseudocode, and from that we determined that we needed a variable length to grab the size of the string. And in here in my palindrome function, you see I'm passing in the actual string. So do a dot size here to determine the size of the string, the length of the string, and we need an array of characters to put the string in. So let's call this word, and we'll give this a size of length +1, and this +1 is going to be the null terminator in C++. We also need the beginning and end pointers, and we want to set end to the last character in the string, which is going to be length -1. All right. So what we first want to do is we want to copy over this passed in string and copy it into an array of characters. So we'll use the string copy, and we're copying into the destination word, and the string that we're going to copy, the source, and we're going to use, this is a C function, so we have to do C string. Okay. All right. Cool. So we have that copied over into the word array of characters. Now we're going to process this array of characters in the for loop. So let's start with our for loop. So like we said, the beginning equal to 0. And we want to loop this while the beginning index is less than or equal to the end index. And after that, we want to increment beginning every time. So in our loop, we talked about wanting to check the beginning character and compare it to the last character and then move towards the middle of the string. So if word, this is our array, if the beginning character is equal to the end character, we want to continue this loop. And when we continue the loop, every for loop is incrementing the beginning, but we also need to decrement the end pointer. So we'll just decrement end here. If it doesn't equal, then we want to go ahead and just get out of this for loop and say, okay, 40. This is not a palindrome. All right. Go ahead and this one. And we want to return false from our function, which is a Boolean function. So we're either returning true or false, 0 or 1. So in our else case, we want to just go ahead and return false. Okay. And if we continue throughout the loop, the for loop, and we actually get to a point where we are finished looping through the entire array, then we want to go ahead and send a good response. This string is a palindrome. And we want to return true. And it's just that easy. So here in our main function, we have our hello world, and we'll ask the user to enter two strings to test it out. Two strings to input to palindrome function. All right. All right. So now we want to see in those strings. So we'll say A and C and B. Okay. And then we'll just go ahead and pass it to pass the return of those palindromes into the function to these strings. So we'll say some bool tests A is equal to the return of the function. So we'll call palindrome with A, and we can do the same thing here. Let's copy this. We'll say B. All right. And then we'll just see out some good results. Test A is 0, 1. Let's say. And same here. Test B is, oops. Cool. And that's about it. Now we can test out this program. So now that we've written our program, I've done a little bit of cout cleaning out just to make sure the output looks a little clean when we run the program. We've got this saved. Let's go ahead and compile this. Use G++. CPP. All right, and that's going to create our a.out, so we can just run a.out. Okay, here we go. In the two strings to input into the palindrome function. So let's ABCPA. That's going to return true. And let's try another one that'll return false. And there we have it. The first test came back that it is a palindrome. And the second test came back that it's not a palindrome. We're good to go.